Hey, what's up? What's poppin'? It's your girl Sade. I'm back with another video. Hey guys, I told y'all it wasn't gonna be too long. But as you see by the title, this is my labor and delivery story. My son has been born. He's over there. He's asleep. So, alright, let's just get right into it. Let me tell you. So, from beginning to end. So we got to the hospital, me, my aunt, and my boyfriend got to the hospital at 8 p.m. Okay, so I thought I was supposed to go in at 8 a.m. But turns out I had to call them and ask them what time I came in because I had completely forgot. So we get there at 8 p.m. I tried to eat beforehand because I knew when I got there I wouldn't be able to eat until the baby was there. We went to the check-in desk and the lady checked us in. She gave us our room number, which was 1545. We went into the lobby and we just sat down waiting for the nurse to come to show us where our room was gonna be. So the nurse came, we went to the room, and she gave me this gown and she said, here you go. We put this on and take all your clothes off, your earrings, jewelry, whatever, etc. So I took it, I went to the bathroom. To remind y'all, my aunt was there, my boyfriend's there, and then his people arrived, so his grandma and his aunt. So I go to the bathroom, I change into the little robe thing, and I come out. My friend came, he came to see me at the time, and he just sat down with my boyfriend. When the nurse came back in, they was just sitting there watching WWE, because that's their shit. So my boyfriend did bring his game, so he did hook up his PS4. And nurse came in and she basically was about to check how dilated I was. So she was checking how dilated I was. She came to hook up all the IVs, all the medicines that I need for, you know, until the delivery time. So after that, she hooked me up to this one IV. I forgot what it was for. It might have been oh no, it wasn't, not that. I think it was some antibiotic. And then she also gave me this pill to like soften my cervix. She said normally they put it like up in your vaginal part and it dissolves, but they just gave it to me orally through the mouth and I took some water with it. So at that point in time, eating time was cut off. Once I stepped foot into the hospital, me eating was non-existent until the baby was here. So finally, she was done doing the IVs and stuff, and it was cold going into my arm. They hooked the IV up to my arm, like right here, and there's like a huge bruise right here. Like, it's so ugly. But I have a blood disorder though, so that bruise is gonna be there for a little bit. They had the medicine and stuff for my blood disorder, in case I was to hemorrhage or anything, because I lost so much blood. So I think they actually did give me an antibiotic for that through the IV. And then she checked how dilated I was. I was 2 centimeters dilated at 8 p.m. at that time when we got there. And to remind y'all, when I had went to the doctor that Wednesday, like the Wednesday before that Sunday, I was only 1.5 centimeters. And this was, bless you, this was December 16th, the Sunday, December 16th, yeah. So we was there, and at around 2 a.m., the nurse came back in, and she gave me another pill, or that might have been like earlier than that, I'm not sure. It might have been around like 10 or so. No, it wasn't. I don't remember. Anyways, around a certain time, she came back. It was late though. I know that I asked her if I could take a nap and she was like, yeah. So I went to sleep and then she woke me back up. So that's when she gave me another pill. She checked how dilated I was again. I think I was around 3 centimeters at that time, or I was still 2, one of those two. They hadn't broke my water yet or anything. They hadn't, like, they just hooked me up to the IV. And then that's when she hooked me up to another IV. And this IV was for something, I think it was for the GBS, which is common in most women who are pregnant. And she hooked me up to that. And then at around 6 a.m., that's when another nurse came in because it was shift change time. So somebody came in, and I think, was this my favorite nurse? yeah, it was my favorite nurse. Like, she took good care of me, and like she was just so humorous. Like, I loved her. I really loved her. And she hooked me up to the Pitocin, which is the medicine, which is the IV medicine that basically starts your contractions. And I was on that. So basically, I had like two IVs in my arm. Like, they were both going in me at the same time, and it was so cold going through my body, and I kind of tasted it, and it was so gross. But she was talking to me, telling me stuff about like what's gonna happen next and this and that. She said, right now this is the lowest dosage of the Pitocin, and gradually over the next few hours, or like the next few hours, I'm gonna bump it up. So she'll come back like an hour later or like 30 minutes later and bump it up a little bit. She really just keep checking on me like that. She kept checking on me because when I had got there, they hooked me up to the monitors to monitor the baby's heartbeat and stuff. So she would come in, she would look at the contractions. So I would look up there because there's a screen that shows you your contractions. And I looked up at the screen, and it had my contractions and stuff, and I looked and I was like, oh, I just had a contraction. I didn't even realize it because I had such a low dosage of Pitocin in my body at that time. She came back in eventually. She upped the dosage of Pitocin. She checked how dilated I was. I think I was still like 3 centimeters. I didn't change for like a long time. I was like, yeah. So I was like 3 centimeters, and from 3 centimeters there was a jump, but we'll get to that part. So time goes past, friends come after they get out of school, blah, 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 blah. Who are you screaming at? How did you manage to get all the way over there? You didn't manage to scoop himself somewhere else. Anyways, so what you looking for? Okay. Anyways, so after that, that's when she had came back in, to keep bumping it up. My friends was there, and then she would ask me every time. She would say, this is what she said to me. She said, the magic word is milkshake, and if you say milkshake if you call me and say milkshake, that means I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna tell everybody to get out. So yeah, and I didn't have to use it, but I wanted a milkshake though because I was hungry. She kept bumping it up. So around a certain time, they came in and I seen my doctor. They checked. They came in, checked how dilated I was. I think I was still 3 at the time. So then that's when they broke my water. They broke my water, and when they broke my water, oh my god. Like, this gush of fluid came out because that's what's gonna happen. So I went to the bathroom, and come to find out my mucus plug fell out. So my mucus plug had fell out because I was real confused. I was like, what is this? Because to remind y'all, I had to strip. Like, I didn't have no clothes on. Like, I didn't have no panties on. So my mucus plug had fell out. And listen, little boy, get it together. And I was confused. I was like, what is this? Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me? You just gonna look at me? You're not gonna answer me? Why are you yelling at me? Anyways. Are you hungry? Don't make me have to get off this camera to feed you. So then, after that, that's when... Look at him. Anyways. They had, oh, he's tired. I was just sitting on the bed, and that's when contractions really started kicking in for real. Like the Kingston. Contractions really started kicking in for real. So contractions really started kicking in or whatever. And like, I was for real in pain. Like, I felt that. I felt it. So that happened. Then eventually they came and they checked out how dilated I was again. And I was about 6 centimeters. And they can't really do nothing until like I'm like 8, 9, 10. So I'm like 6 centimeters dilated at this point. and contractions have gotten worse and everything. So she asked me, she was like, I need to know an hour before you need the epidural that you need the epidural. So I was like, it was eventually time had passed, and I was like, I'm ready for the epidural. Like I was tired of the pain. So I was finally ready for the epidural. And when I got the epidural, girl. So when I got the epidural, that's when they came in there. They came in there, and it was two doctors. One, he had a lunch lady hat on looking thing. And he was the, whatever it's called, the people who do the epidural. And then my nurse. So they came in there and they gave me these directions of what to do. I had to sit a certain way and everything, and hold a pillow. Cause at first she didn't give me the pillow. I said, "Where's the pillow at?" She was like, "Here you go." So I got the pillow, and she called me my nickname. Her nickname for me was Miss Sassy Pants. And she had got me the pillow, and I was sitting there, and I only wanted my boyfriend in the room, so everybody else had got out. So my boyfriend was sitting in the room with me, and he was just sitting there, and he was just sitting there watching them. So they started with the little needle, I guess. I don't really know how to explain the epidural because all I did was feel it. I didn't see it. I told her, I was like, I actually looked up a video of somebody getting an epidural before, this and that. And she was like, "Why'd you do that to yourself?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just wanted to be prepared for, what I had ahead of me." So she was helping me get through it. And finally, epidural time was over. So I laid down. He put the tape on my back. I laid down. And yeah, that was that. There was a moment in time that the epidural got disconnected from the little thing. So they had to latch it back on. That was scary. So then after that, some time went by, and I couldn't, and she came in. Yeah, the nurse came in. The nurse came back in, and she was like, "Did you feel that?" I said, "Feel what?" She said, "Good." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Did I have a contraction or something?" She said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, wow, I can't feel anything." Like, the epidural really had me in check. Like, I think I went to sleep after I got it, and when I woke up, she came back in. She asked me if I felt it, and I was like, "No." So I couldn't feel nothing. So my legs started getting numb. I couldn't feel my legs. And then she had got me the peanut eventually. So the peanut is this ball that looks like a peanut that you like. It helps soften. It helps with your cervix or something like that. It helps the muscles get kind of strong. So I had my legs up on it. I was turned sideways with my legs up on it, and with like one leg under it and one leg on top. So to remind y'all, my legs are really numb at this point in time. And since my legs are numb at this point in time, and I'm on this ball, eventually one side feels more numb than the other, and I'm asking her, like, "Why is this?" She says, well, it's because you're laying on that side, so that leg's gonna be number because all the weight and pressure is on that leg and not the other one. I was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "The only way for that one to be equally amount of numb is for you to lay on that side." So I was switching sides every once and then. Excuse me. I was switching sides every once in a while, but every time I would be on my left side, it just felt real uncomfortable, and I kind of got a little nauseous because I didn't really like my left side. Even when I slept, even when I was sleeping with, like when I was pregnant, I didn't like my left side. So after that, she had left the room, and they came in with a whole bunch of other doctors. So it's around 7:30. Let's say 7:30. I can't remember. So it's around 7:30 or so. They come check. I'm still 6 centimeters. I think they've checked like 3-4 times, and I was at 6. I was like at 6 or 7 centimeters for like. No, I was at 6 centimeters for the longest. Like literally the longest. So one of the doctors came in, and was like, if you don't dilate at a certain point, like at a certain time, then we might just have to go ahead and give you a C-section because my water's broken, the baby is still in me, and the amniotic fluid, which the amniotic fluid is, you know, the water that was breaking. And once I lose all of that, you know, baby, oxygen, not good. So then that's when I was like, okay. So, you know, knowing me, I was scared. And to remind y'all, I have a blood disorder. So getting a C-section is risking my life, literally. But if they didn't have no choice to do it, then they would have gave me a C-section because they had no choice. So eventually, Kyle's grandma got up, which is my boyfriend Kyle. His grandma got up and she was like, let's pray. And at this point, I'm crying, like I'm bawling tears. I'm really upset because I'm like, I don't want a C-section. Like that's harmful to my life if I have to get a C-section, because a C-section would be risking my life. Yeah, maybe the baby would make it, but maybe I wouldn't. And that's what I was thinking about, and what my boyfriend was thinking about, and what my family was thinking about. So it was just like crazy at that moment because my boyfriend, he can't imagine like for his son to grow up without a mother. After that, the doctors came, it was like an hour later, so say around like 8:15, 8 something. The doctors came back in, and I was 8 centimeters, thank the Lord. So I was 8 centimeters, and contractions were heavy. Like my contractions were heavy. And the thing is, even with the epidural, some people don't feel anything. Some people still feel the pressure, and I still felt pressure. Okay, so I still felt pressure, and it was mainly on my asshole. So I felt a lot of pressure on my butthole, and they said, you know, that's where you're gonna feel pressure. That means the baby's head is like emerging. So I felt all that pressure, and it was just low-key painful. Like my butthole felt like I had to take a poop, and the poop wouldn't come out. So it was kind of like, I need to push this poop out because this poop ain't working. And it wasn't even poop, it was a baby. So then that's when the doctor was like, 8 centimeters, you feeling pressure, it's time. So he was like, bring in the table. I was like, the table? What the hell is the table? So there's a doctor right here, the doctor right here, there's a doctor right here, doctor in front of me, which is the one getting the baby, delivering the baby, and then a doctor back there at the table, and then a doctor sitting in the back next to the little baby incubator thingy. I don't know what that thing's called. I don't know. Shit. Anyways, so all the doctors are around me, you know, for this baby. So my doctor in like my doctor's office, he told me, he was like, this is the technique you need to use when you're going into labor. Like, this is the pushing technique you need to use. He said, when I hold my breath through my nose. So like, and when I push out, but don't open my mouth. So, but take my hands, put on my knee, and put on my legs. Cause see, my legs are propped up on these two blue things, like out there. So my legs was up there, and I had to take my hands and pick up my elbows off the like bed and like pull myself, curl my chin to my chest, and push like I'm taking a shit at the same time while I'm doing that. It's kind of difficult, but if you practice it, then you know it makes sense. Cause at first I was like, what? My computer almost fell. So after that, that's when I was pushing, and basically my boyfriend was right here, my mom was right here, and my friend was over here. And they had this gas mask because I was trying to breathe through these contractions. I was in pain. I ain't never been in so much pain. So I only wanted my boyfriend in there, but at that point in time, I was like, fuck it. I don't care who's in here. I don't care who sees me. I just want this baby out. So that's when my boyfriend's over here rubbing my shoulder. He's like, push like you taking the biggest poop of your life. He kept saying that. And, you know, the doctor was like, would count to 10. They would say deep breath in, push out, push out. And he would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it felt like the longest 10 seconds of life. And he did that about 5 times. So I nonstop had to push like for 10 seconds. And he would do that for like 5 times in a row. And then give me a rest, give me a break. And then when I felt another contraction building up, that's when they were like, they would ask me, they'd be like, whenever you're ready. And I'll be like, I'm ready, I need a push. And I would, push. So I kept asking questions too. I was like, is the baby out yet? I said, is the baby out yet? I was in pain. I was like, is the baby out yet? I was hot. They had a rag right here on me, a rag right here on me. Like literally, that pushing had me so hot that I made the towels hot. So I was so hot, literally, looking up at the sky, just wanting this baby out. I was looking at the light, just like, God, are you calling me? That's how I felt. So I just felt more and more pressure on my butthole. Like, y'all don't understand. I felt like my butthole was turning inside out, and it wasn't. I said, did I poop? I literally asked if I pooped, and they was like, no, you did not poop. I was like, oh, because I really thought I pooped, and I didn't. And when that had happened, I kept pushing. So I kept doing that little procedure they was telling me to do or whatever. And eventually the baby's head was like right there. So they was like, do you want the baby's head? I said, is he out yet? Like, do y'all see him? And it was like, yeah, his head is right there. Do you want to feel it? And I was like, sure. I said, I didn't even know what to say at first. I said, yeah. So they took my hand and I felt the baby's head. It was like right there. It was all nasty feeling. It was all wet and good. It felt like gushy. I was like, what the hell? But anyways, so I felt the little baby's head or whatever. And then that's when I kept pushing. So eventually the baby's head was right there. So say this is my vajayjay, okay? This is my vajayjay. And here's the inside of my vajayjay. Like, this part is the inside of my vajayjay. And this is the outside part. So the baby's head is like this. Like in the middle of my vajayjay. Literally, in the middle. And I started feeling a burning sensation. It was like a burning, like tearing sensation. It was like, this don't feel right at all. So I was like, I need this thing out of me. Like, this does not feel right. I was in pain at that point. Because it was just so much pressure. It wasn't even the fact of the baby coming out. Like, I didn't feel the shoulders or none of that. It was just the head. And after that, I finally gave it a couple more, my biggest pushes. I gave it my biggest pushes. And finally the baby came on out. And I did a scream of relief. Literally, I screamed. Because it was so much of a relief of that baby just coming on out of me that I had to rejoice by screaming. And they wiped the baby off. I got skin-to-skin contact and everything. And then I look over to the side of me, and my boyfriend is standing there, like, and I was holding the baby, and I was over here. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't even cry. Like, my tears was just nowhere to be found. And the nurse, to remind y'all, the nurse that was here for me that whole time, like, the nurse from like 6 a.m., she stayed there. She was supposed to get off at 7, but this is around 9 o'clock. And I only pushed for an hour, and that's good, especially for it to be your first baby. And it was around 9, he was born December 17th at 9:14 p.m. And it was just great, because I was holding the baby, and there's my boyfriend standing right next to me, and he starts crying. He's over here crying, and I'm just like, this is a beautiful moment. Like, it was just such a beautiful moment at that point in time. And the lactation nurse came in, helped me latch the baby on. Everybody was like, good job, because I did a good job. And then they was over here. I was wondering what they was doing while my legs was still up. I was wondering what they was doing. And they was like, they're trying to see if you had tore or not. So turns out I did not tear. Thank the God Jesus. I did not tear. And after that, yeah, they delivered the placenta, which, like, the way they delivered the placenta, I thought I was going to have to push again. Like, I was like, do I have to push again? So they was like, no. So he, like, pushed down on my stomach, and the placenta came on out. It was weird. And, like, I seen my placenta. I'll enter the video of my placenta. And it was just all bloody looking. Like, I'm not eating that. So they disposed of it. I wanted the blood from my umbilical cord. I wanted to, like, donate it, but I couldn't, because I'm not 18, I'm 17. And I had to sign the paper myself, so for me to do that, I had to be 18, and no parent or guardian could sign it for me. Only I could, and I couldn't. So that's okay. And then after that, lactation, I started breastfeeding. It was just a beautiful moment. My baby was born, Kingston Amir Alexander. What y'all know about him? Nothing. Can't tell me shit. Anyways, this concludes my video. I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see anything else, let me know. I do my posts on Instagram, obviously, of course. Just let me know what you want to see in the comments.
Alright, make sure y'all go like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Swavy gang, Swavy squad, you already know what's going on.
Charging by the minute, cause my time is very pricey. Bougie when I'm broke, so I'm bougie when I'm popping. I've been working stock when